Members' statements. Members' statements. I recognize the member for Essex.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I have more great news about great things happening in Essex County. The first project is a project in the town of Belle River, which is a lovely town located on the shores of Lake St. Clair. This is a 160-unit long-term care facility. It is going to be state-of-the-art, and it's going to allow people to stay in their town and stay close to their loved ones and their families. The second project is in Amherstburg, a historic town located on the Detroit River. This project is another 160 units, a long-term care home which will allow people to stay in Amherstburg and stay close to their friends and their family. This project is going to be very welcomed, and it's currently under construction as well. These long-term care projects are very important to the people in Essex County, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Long-Term Care and also the Ford government for putting funding behind these projects and having a part in helping construct these very, very important facilities for the people of Belle River, Amherstburg, and Essex County. Thank you.
Member statements. The member for Niagara Centre.
Thank you, Speaker. Healthcare underfunding is having devastating consequences across the province, and I want to take a moment to tell Celia Crampion's story. Celia is a resident of Welland and just turned 37. She's been healthy and active all her life and was diagnosed with a rare idiopathic condition which causes scar tissue to build up in her airway. There's a simple treatment for this, a surgery that can remove the extra tissue and open the airway. However, she cannot get this surgery because while diagnosing this breathing issue, doctors also discovered a large aneurysm in her brain. The aneurysm was discovered in January. Brain aneurysm ruptures result in immediate death 50% of the time. Of those who survive a rupture, 25% will suffer severe, life-altering complications. Celia says, quote, "It's now June and I have yet to receive any treatment or even a proper assessment for this brain aneurysm. I cannot receive treatment for my breathing issue because of risk of rupture. I pay out of pocket for a therapist to help cope with the grief. I'm alarmed by what seem to be cynical moves by this government and other Conservative parties to defund our healthcare system and move toward privatization and a predatory American-style system. Speaker, Ontario must urgently strengthen the public healthcare system by recruiting more healthcare workers and doctors, expanding resources, and improving infrastructure so people like Celia don't have to endure months of waiting for critical treatment. Thank you for sharing your story, Celia. We can do better.
I recognize the member for Nepean.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a very special and rather emotional moment for me. June is ALS Awareness Month, a time to honor the strength and resilience of those living with ALS, their families, and the tireless advocates working towards a cure. Today, members of ALS Canada are here at Queen's Park to remind us that this fight is urgent. Imagine losing your ability to drive, to walk, to bathe yourself, or even breathe. That is what living with ALS looks like. It is relentless, and it robs people of their independence and their dignity piece by piece. And for me, this is personal. My father, Randy Watt, was diagnosed with ALS in December of 2022, and unfortunately, just 2 years later, we lost him. Watching him face this disease with courage while his body failed him was the most heartbreaking experience of my life. But he never lost his spirit, and neither will we. So, Dad, if you're watching right now, know that I miss you every single day, and I hope that I'm making you proud. Let this month be a call to action, to invest in research, to support families, and to never stop working towards a future without ALS. Thank you.
I'm sure your father is very, very proud of you. I recognize the member for Oakville North Burlington.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise today to recognize the 5th anniversary of the African, Caribbean, and Black Excellence Scholarship Awards presented by the African Caribbean Council of Halton. These awards celebrate exceptional students of African, Caribbean, and Black descent who have demonstrated academic excellence, leadership, and a commitment to community service. From organizing Black History Month events to mentoring and volunteering, these young leaders uplift all of those around them. Their achievements inspire all of us. In recognition of their success, each award-winning student received a certificate from me on behalf of the Government of Ontario. And each year I've been honored to support this initiative by offering a summer job in my community office to one student, helping to build their experience in government and public service. Ontario shares the goals of the ACCH through the Youth Mentorship Program, which offers culturally relevant mentorship opportunities for Black children and youth aged 6 to 25. And through the Black Youth Action Plan, where over 10,800 Black children, youth, and their families are supported annually in elementary and secondary school, post-secondary education, and employment. So, to the African Caribbean Council of Halton, thank you for your vision and leadership and investing in the next generation of young leaders.
I recognize the member for Waterloo.
Thank you. Results from a 2022 survey show that over 4 years, students' mental and physical health have plunged across Waterloo Region. The leading culprit, social media platforms. University of Waterloo professor Dr. Dylan Brown, who specializes in child mental health, says there are significant correlations between the amount of child engagement with social media and things like anxiety and depression. This is a trend across the province, with several Ontario school boards launching lawsuits against social media platforms claiming they hurt students by interfering with their mental health and their learning. Addictive design features like endless scrolling, algorithmic content, and notifications are deliberately engineered to keep users engaged, especially vulnerable youth. Ontario's public health units have a role to play by implementing clear evidence-based warnings about the health risks of excessive social media use, similar to warnings we see on tobacco and alcohol. That is why I'm putting forth a motion calling on this government to investigate the harmful impact of social media on youth and to implement stronger protections across the province. Our children's well-being must come before corporate profits. I call on all members of this House to support this motion to protect Ontario's next generation from the harms of social media, and I would like to sincerely thank Dr. Alison Young for her leadership in bringing forward this issue. Let's get this done together.
I recognize the member for Glengarry Russell Prescott.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we enter our final parliamentary week before the summer recess, I would like to take a moment to highlight the importance of the upcoming season in our communities. Summer in Glengarry, Prescott, Russell is a time of excitement and togetherness. Throughout the riding festivals, agricultural fairs, cultural celebrations, and community events will take place. These events are not only opportunities for families and neighbors to reconnect, but they also offer an important boost to our local economy. Small businesses, artisans, farmers, and tourism operators all benefit from the energy and engagement that summer brings to our region. It's a reminder of how vibrant and resilient our communities truly are. I would like to sincerely thank all the organizers, committees, volunteers, and municipal and community partners who make these events possible year after year. Their work often happens behind the scenes, but their contribution is essential to the vitality of our communities. This summer, I will be out in the riding, meeting with residents, local businesses, municipal office officials, and various stakeholders. These conversations are invaluable as they help me better understand the realities on the ground and bring their voices here to Queen's Park. I wish all my colleagues a summer season filled with meaningful moments shared with their constituents. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the member for Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. In the last few days in the House, in the last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about Bill 5, how it's going to be such a massive government overreach, but what does that actually mean? So let's talk about a couple examples. So when the Ford government was elected the first time, they were going to balance the budget by holding public servants at 1%, right? And that actually, when that bill was rescinded or beaten in court, that actually ended up costing the people of Ontario billions of extra dollars. The housing crisis, the first thing the Ford government did was open up the Greenbelt, or try to, with Bill 23. That was going to fix the housing crisis. What happened? No houses were built. They had to rescind that bill. But even more importantly, developers who were trying to do the right thing, their reputations were ruined. Like, it actually slowed the housing industry down. Now the government is doing the same thing with their special economic zones, which they say are for mining companies. Be careful, mining companies, because what's going to happen is your reputation. We all know the great job mining companies do dealing with First Nations, dealing with the environment. Your reputation is going to be tarnished by this massive government overreach. Please, please, to the Ford government, to the Premier and his government, pull Bill 5. Keep the part about the concierge for mining, but pull the rest.
I recognize the member for Eglinton Lawrence.
Madam Speaker, this past Sunday, I had the privilege of joining 10,000 riders in the Baycrest Bike for Brain Health event right here in Toronto, where I rode 50 kilometers alongside my son, Ryan. It was an inspiring experience, not just for the rare chance to ride along the Gardiner and the DVP car-free, but for the cause we were riding for, promoting brain health and raising funds for Baycrest's world-renowned research and care in aging and cognitive health. Baycrest is a global leader in brain health, and I'm proud to say it's located in my riding of Eglinton Lawrence. It's not only a source of groundbreaking innovation, but also a place of compassion and care for families facing the challenges of aging and dementia. Let's keep working together to make Ontario a place where healthy aging is possible for all. Thank you.
I recognize the member for Whitby.
Thank you, Speaker. Recently, the 2024-2025 Attorney General's Victim Services Awards of Distinction were announced. And this award recognizes the dedication and achievements of individuals and organizations working to support people who have experienced victimization due to crime and to raise awareness of victims' issues in Ontario. Speaker, I'm pleased to highlight two recipients from the region of Durham. They include Krista McNeil from Whitby, who's spent over 2 decades advocating for victims of human trafficking and sexual violence, pushing for systemic and legislative change. Carly Church from Oshawa, who's a human trafficking coordinator and community engagement manager at Victim Services of Durham Region. She's been a driving force behind the Monday Night Project, a drop-in program to support women experiencing exploitation or human trafficking. Carly also helped develop the Helping Alliances with Law Enforcement to End Trafficking model that provides immediate coordinated support for trafficking supporters. Speaker, congratulations to Krista and Carly on your well-deserved awards and the difference you make in the region of Durham.
I recognize the member for Guelph.
Honor to welcome to the gallery up here and recognize an inspirational athlete and leader from my riding. Nathan Skofus is a lifelong Guelph resident, world champion martial artist, and mentor. Cincy Nathan was recently crowned Canadian Open Martial Arts Champion for a record-breaking 12th consecutive year. The 23-time world champion once again qualified for Team Canada and will represent Canada at the World Championships this fall. Now, I've known Nathan for many years and have witnessed firsthand the impact of his leadership in Guelph. 10 years ago, Nathan, along with his family, founded the Guelph Martial Arts School with the goal of empowering youth and adults through martial arts. Last year, Nathan was awarded the Difference Maker of the Year award by the Guelph Chamber of Commerce. Recently, Guelph Family Martial Arts hosted a free self-defense workshop for hundreds of women in Guelph. Nathan had the idea for the workshop after a string of assaults in our city. He stepped up, offered this free workshop to give women not only self-defense skills, but a space to talk about what they were experiencing. I ask all members in the House to please join me in thanking Nathan for his work and wishing him good luck at the World Championships.